Hello football fans, welcome to United Home. Here you'll get breaking transfer news, match updates and exclusive inside training content. Show your support by liking the video, commenting your thoughts, sharing with other fans and subscribing to join the United Home family. Carrick, Maguire, transfers and style. Man United questions answered. Our senior Manchester United writer Tyrone Marshall answers your questions on the club and what is going on at Old Trafford. Michael Carrick saw his unbeaten run as Manchester United head coach come to an end on Wednesday night when his side lost 2-1 to Newcastle at St James's Park. Carrick looked disappointed in his players after the game, with United failing to press home a man advantage for the entire second half and losing to William Osula's stunning individual goal in the final minute. Despite that setback, United remain third in the Premier League and on course to return to the Champions League next season, although that race is now hotting up and Aston Villa visit Old Trafford next week. Although United aren't in action this weekend, there is still plenty on the agenda. Carrick's future is no longer as clear-cut as it seemed, and transfer talk is hotting up, with the head coach revealing United are likely to target a left-winger in the summer. We've answered some of your questions below. We run weekly question and answer sessions, so click here to submit your questions and we'll answer them next week. Here are the answers to some of this week's questions. To be fair, this question was submitted about 2 hours before kickoff on Wednesday night. It's interesting to consider now in the wake of what happened at St James's Park. I'm writing this on Friday lunchtime and we haven't had any questions since the defeat to Newcastle that raise concerns about Carrick's appointment or ask about alternatives, which suggests the first loss in 8 games for Carrick is being kept in context. United insist the process to appoint a new head coach will be thorough, but Carrick is rightly the favourite. One defeat at Newcastle shouldn't cost him the job, and he was never going to get through the rest of the season without losing a game. But it does raise some questions now. How United respond against Villa will be fascinating, as will how Carrick deals with some of the issues being presented at the minute, more on which below. Another one that came in before Wednesday but still worth looking at. Malaysia didn't cover himself in glory at St James's Park, and he got his body in a terrible position when Osula ran at him. But the point about now playing is a valid one. Before Wednesday, he had 1 minute of first-team football to his name this season, and a game and a half for the under-21s in Premier League 2, the last of which was on January 26th. So to chuck him in at the end of a frantic Premier League game wasn't really helping anybody. Malaysia's year has been an odd one. He barely gets a kick at United, but they haven't really helped to move him on either. Wednesday was evidence that it's been a mistake on all parties. The attack has looked a little flat recently. I think there is an issue over the width, and that will be addressed in the summer. Carrick basically said this week that they need to sign a left winger. Cunha is determined to come inside from the left, and it is often too congested in the centre, which makes it difficult to play at pace. When United could counter early on under Carrick, they looked good. The past few weeks have been a bit more stodgy. I totally agree with this. Maguire has been excellent under Carrick, and with De Ligt still out and Martinez looking injury-prone, United can't afford to lose him. De Ligt has complained of feeling pain in his back on a couple of occasions when he has been close to a return, which isn't a great sign. He was in good form at the start of the season, but that feels a long time ago now. Maguire is still a commanding centre-back, and his experience is invaluable. United will want him to take a pay cut from a salary of around £190,000 a week, but to offset that, Maguire is likely to want 2 years. He turned 33 on Thursday, so that would take him past his 35th birthday, but he still looks more than capable of doing a job for this club. I agree with both statements, but I also think it's not an issue that affects only United. This Premier League season has been low on quality. It's set-piece heavy, and even in open play, games are defined by duels and individual battles. It is all about physicality, and there is very little space for players to play in. That makes it hard for teams to have a defined style of play. Arsenal have adjusted to the approach, but they aren't good to watch. City have games where they look good, but many more when it is a battle, and the matches are tight. So, no, I don't think United do have a defined style of play yet under Carrick, but unless it's about set pieces and duels, no team in the league does this season. I would cut him some slack on that front. The hundreds of millions dollar question. Part of the answer probably depends on whether United qualify for the Champions League or not. But I would expect at least 2 central midfielders, a left winger, and maybe another defend. There might be more if the budget is bigger than expected, and some of it will depend on outgoings or sales, but I think those positions mentioned above will be the priority. I would say at least 4 new signings, maybe 5. Higher than that would probably be a surprise. Ruben Amorim has given Manchester United a problem position to address this summer. Man United have struggled for width in recent weeks, showing the importance of signing a left winger in the summer window. After the Newcastle defeat, Michael Carrick was asked whether Manchester United had a problem with width. No, we had Cunha playing on the touchline today. He played wide, so we had width, he said. I'm not going to dissect the performance. There were some decent bits, but lots of bits we need to get better at. The boys have been good, we've played well and had a lot of results. We've lost the game. The boys, myself, the players and staff, we're all hoping for a little more. But it didn't happen for us. It was the second time Carrick had been asked about United's width in the space of 4 days. Against Crystal Palace, he was spotted passing on tactical instructions to Matheus Cunha. Carrick was asked about his exchange with Cunha during his press conference after the Palace win and what he told the Brazilian. Just getting the balance about when to play inside a little, when to play outside a little, and when to make the runs in behind, was the answer. Again, Matheus thinks a lot about the game. He's really good in terms of wanting to know certain things, and it was just one of them, probably because he was the closest one to me, so we ended up having the conversation. He's conscious of where the space is and how to attack the space. Sometimes it's wide, particularly the second half. At times he looked dangerous wide going 1-against-1, which is something he can do. And then he's inside the pitch a little bit more to win the penalty, so nothing major, just bits of information here and there. Carrick did not acknowledge the lack of width during the St James's Park debrief, but he did confirm in the build-up to the game that signing a left winger was a possibility at the end of the season. United were interested in Antoine Semenyo before his £62.5 million move to Manchester City. The Reds were prepared to deviate from their plan not to make a mid-season signing because Semenyo was a long-term target and his release clause made him attainable. Semenyo predominantly played as a left winger for Bournemouth this season before his transfer to City, but he was seen as adaptable, able to play as a number 10 in Ruben Amorim's system. Amorim's formation required a specific type of player in each position, but United were conscious of avoiding the previous regime's mistake of signing players for a manager rather than for the club. Brian